Hello, and welcome to CNET50 Online. I'm Professor Miller, if we've never met, and I want to show you one of the labs that are due this week. So this is lab 1-8. So I'm going to share my screen and get started. All right, so here I am on the course, right? Here's the home page. If we go to modules, a couple of things I want to just make you aware of. First off, the weeks are set up by weeks. And in this first week, I have all kinds of links in here. The next couple of weeks, I don't, right? I don't have as many things in here. And the main thing I want to talk about are these practice mode. So lab 1.3 practice mode, lab 1.4 practice mode, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. The only things that are due are things that have a due date on them. So if you look at the modules, say February 27th, 10 points, quiz 1, February 27, 10 points, lab 1.3 testing mode, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. All right. Now in the future modules, I don't show the practice modes, but they're there. They're still on Cengage. So let me show you that. I'm going to do this lab, this 1-8. So if you click on the link for the practice mode, and then in the future it'd be the testing mode, the practice mode and the testing mode are identical. So the only thing is you can go into the practice mode and do it as many times as you want. Whereas the testing mode, you can only do it one time. So I'd highly recommend you go into the practice mode. And here's the practice mode. Now, in the future labs, like in module 2, if I close this practice mode, I can open up everything that's in mindtap for these modules. So if I go into practice and I want to do the labs practice mode, I can come in here and do the practice modes again. So like next week, you'll notice in week 2, we have a handful of labs, 2-6, 3-6, and 3-9. So if you come into lab 2-6 practice mode, that will be where you can practice it. Even though I don't have a link to it in Canvas, just click on any of the links in the page, and then you can go to it. So like, for example, you just click on any one of these in module 1, open it, hit the X up here, and it will take you to the entire course, and then you can get around in there that way. All right, so let me show you this lab 1-8. So you click load and it will load up and it'll give you some instructions. I always like to have the instructions over here. And it says the optical disk drive is a tight fit, so we have to open one of the things here. So it says remove both sides of the case. So let me restart this. So if we just rotate this and just click on the side panels, they come off. All right, so now we have both the cases, side panels removed, turn the case so the front panel is facing to your right. So this is facing to the right. Now it says select an optical drive. So if I come into inventory, and an optical drive is storage, so I can click on these and it will tell me what they are. So that's an SSD. There we go. There's an optical drive. So now I want to grab it and just drag it over to my work area. All right. And then I want to rotate this so that it will fit into the computer. So if I click this and just drag it over here, when this turns blue, I can let go and it will insert the optical drive into the machine. Now it says grab an SSD. So let's go back here and here's an SSD. So let's get that. And it says, open the vertical swinging door panel. So if you just drag your mouse around, you'll notice it gives you a finger, a pointing finger. If I click that, it opens. Okay. Now, notice I can't grab this SSD because it's not in the right position. So just rotate it until you get the finger to move it. Then just drop it in there. Okay. When finished, close the vertical panel. Boom, closed. Now that's done. We're at the done. Now I hit submit. It says everything's correct. Then it says, why is an SSD more stable than a hard drive? And that's because hard drives disks are easily damaged. Now I'm not going to go through all the questions. I'm going to leave those for you to do. But I'm going to do the demonstration of this. All right. So now it says, select a low wattage power supply. So if I come into the inventory, come back over here to power, and it says 400 should do it. So there's a 400. I'm going to check this. It says place the power and supply in the upper left corner, which is up here, of the case. So the switch faces outside the opening. So here's the switch down here. So I want to get that so it faces outside the opening. And again, you only get the finger, you can only grab it once you have it in the right spot. Okay, place it in the lower right-hand corner, submit, good. Okay, and then it says, select a micro ATX motherboard. So let me reset this. So if I come into the inventory, motherboards, and if I click on this one, it says that's a mini ITX. There's a full-size ATX. Here's a micro ATX, and it needs to have the LGA 1151 socket. So that's the one I want. And then it says select a Kaby Lake processor. If I come into the CPUs or processors, and if I mouse over this, it says that's an AMD. That's not Kaby Lake. AMD, not Kaby Lake. That's a fan, not a Kaby Lake. And here's the i3, and it says this is a Kaby Lake dual core. That's the one I want. So I'm going to click here. It says open the CPU socket. So if I click this little lever, it opens the socket. It says softly drop the processor in there. Now notice if it's yellow, you can't drop it, but you can once it's blue. And then close the socket. And it says the fan comes with thermal paste already. Place the fan on the thing. So we need to go grab the fan for this one. If I come back and I click on this, it says it's compatible with the i3, which is the one we got. So now I'm going to grab this, and it inserts the CPU fan and the power supply. Okay, now it says select the fastest available matching pair DDR4. I come over here, memory. If I click on that, that's DDR2. That's DDR. This is DDR3. So I'm going to grab the DDR4. All right. And we know the memory goes here, but notice if I get the blue, it doesn't install it because you have to put this in the right position. So if you put it there, it won't go. Rotate it a couple times, and then you'll notice it go. Now you need to do two of them. It says matching pair. So just grab another one of these and insert it there. Okay, and then it shows you some pictures where that's all done. Hit submit, correct. I'm going to skip the questions. Reset this. Okay, so now it says, turn the case around to the back so you can see how to orient the shield. So here's the back. Here's the shield. I can't stick it in that direction. That's upside down. So I get it here, and it'll just go in there. So a lot of this is going to be trial and error, where you're just going to have to kind of move things around, rotate it, and see if it works. Then it says, go back to the side of the case and install the motherboard. There's the motherboard. And it says, insert the cables into the case. Just click in here and it pops those in there. All right. So now let's do this one again. Because of the tight space inside this case, select the smallest graphics card. I come back into my inventory, expansion card. Here's a sound card, graphics card. Now it said the smallest one. So what they mean by that is the smallest amount of memory and ports. So this one has 3 gigs, 1 DVI. This one has 8 gigs. So they want us to grab the smaller of these. So I'm going to put that there. And if I try to insert this, until I rotate it, where the ports are on the back side here, it won't insert. Okay, submit, got it. And then this one says, for this build, we're going to use an Intel Haswell CPU, a sizable 8 gig graphics card, and a wireless. So remove both of the case's side panels. So again, remove that one, remove that one. We want it facing to the right. Select a 1 terabyte hard drive. So that's storage. And here's the 1 terabyte hard drive. And I want to rotate this until it actually inserts it. Okay. Place the hard drive in the lower right-hand bay, which we did. Now, select the highest wattage power supply. So this one we know is 400 watts. This one is 700 watts. That's the one we want. And it says place it so that the switch faces the outside. So there's the switch facing the outside. And you might have to rotate it a couple times. And there we go. Okay, so then the next thing is select an ATX motherboard with an LG 1150 that supports a Haswell processor. So let's come over back to our motherboards, and this is in full-size ATX. So this is mini ITX, ATX, that is for AMD, micro ATX, and then there's our ATX. So we're going to grab that, open the CPU socket on the motherboard. So again, here's the little lever, and select a Haswell processor. Let's come back here. And we know this is AMD. These are fans. This one was the i3. Here's the i5, which is the Haswell. So here says Haswell quad core. Let's put it over here. And very carefully set the CPU in there. So when it's blue, then it says get the fan for this one, which is this one here. Right, because if we select it, it says i5. Now this one, we have to close the lid. And if we put it here, it won't insert. We have to rotate it till it's at the top there. All right, then we have to put the power into this slot here for the power. Connect the CPU power fan to the motherboard. Select an M2 card SSD and get a screw. So let's come back over into storage. And this is an SXD M2. That's a CD that we used earlier. So we need this one and we need the screw. Let's grab that. And it says insert the memory card in the or insert it into the M2 slot on the motherboard and attach the screw. So if I click this, there's my M2 slot, but notice the pins are on this side. So I need to rotate this. Drop that in there, grab my screw, drop that in there. Good. Now it says select the fastest DDR3. And go to memory. And if you recall, this one was DDR3, which is not only the fastest, it's the only. So again, if I try to drop that in there, it won't go in. Won't go in. Goes in. Grab the other one. That goes in there nice. And away we go. Okay. And then this one says, usually a motherboard comes with the thing. So let's rotate this back. Rotate our shield. Still not in the right position. There it goes. Rotate that back. Stick our motherboard in there. Insert the cables into the case. There we go. And submit. Now we're going to insert the expansion cards. So let's come over here and it says select the largest graphics card. So again, expansion card. Now this was our smallest one. This one must be our largest one. Again, we want to rotate it till the ports are in the back, and that goes there. Then it says select a network card. So this is a sound card, graphics card. Graphics card, here's our wireless network card, right? And again, we want to rotate this until our little antennas facing the back. Drop that into the slot, and we're good to go. All right. So that's how you would do lab 1-8. If you ever have any questions on these labs, let me know and I'll create a video and I'll show you how to do it. And it will take you probably a week or so to get comfortable working with the mindtap labs. But once you do, you should have no problem with that. All right. So that's it for now. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can always post and ask the professor, or send me an email, or get on Zoom, or however you want to talk to me. All right, take care. Bye.